Hello everybody, welcome back. We are once again at the semi-detached. We have, ooh, that's not sitting right, is it? I've just looked at it from the side. We'll sort it out later. I had a bit of a shock when I came back to this unit because nothing had saved. It literally looked exactly the same as when we started the previous video, with the colors on the wall and all the furniture and everything. So I must have saved about 3 times and nothing saved. So I have tried to recreate it as best as I can, and oh boy, that was fun. So welcome back. Let me know if I've missed something. So what I've done here is I've used one of the garage shelves and I've put some hanging plants and something that just pulls the eye into the corner, and I've been playing with cupboards and shelves and stuff, and I like this color for the wall, but I am tempted to go for this color at the bottom. Now, because we're looking at earth, we are looking at the various elements of the earth. So plants, stones, marbles, and I think I would like to use that on the top. I think that'd look pretty good, and it's not as intense for this area. The other alternative is this one, which I also like, but I think that's too dark for up here. So if we take that and do that, it sort of blends into the wall quite nicely. Doesn't take your eye away from everything else that's going to be around. But then looking at that, maybe we should use the dark cabinets at the bottom. It can be changed. It can be changed. So let's take these cabinets off the wall here. We are going to need corner units. So you can see my plant here. Let's find us a cabinet unit. Should we use this one? That would work quite nicely. Have I got precise placement on? That's bad, especially when placing cabinets. Okay, that works. Let's do a corner hanging cupboard. Let's do the same shape. Now the only problem we are going to have is with the height of these walls, because they are super tall. But I don't think this is going to give us enough space to put things like, let's see. Okay, it will fit. Maybe we do the double cupboards, but then I think we need to take the handles off these cupboards. So let's just copy that and then take the handles. That actually works quite nicely. I like that. Okay. And then I think we will literally do double because we have enough space here. Obviously we will keep an area for the stove and for the sink. Sorry, I'm just wondering, do we go with the browns? We're not going light, so oops. Should we test that theory out? me know which one you prefer. This is the lightest we can go. Yeah. Just undo that. And let's... oh boy, oh boy. If we take it to there... that's the same colour as the wall, I think. Not really. The wall is a very tricky colour. Okay, let's... damn it. It always does this, doesn't it? Is that the colour we're looking at? No. Okay, I'm confused. Did I use... no, I didn't. Okay. Confused. That's as far as it goes, unless we use that. There we go. So, that is olive. Okay. So should we take this down to the olive? That's not bad. That will blend quite nicely with the wall. Do we want the kitchen to have the darker bottom unit? I think so. Okay, let's do that now. And I'm going to put this unit over here. And this is what we're currently using, so we're not going to fight with that. The only problem is you can see it doesn't line up with the cabinets, which irritates quite bad. Let's do that. And then it does. Okay. Now, we are going to need a sink. Now here we don't really have options with the tap, which is unfortunate. At the top we actually have done that. Handles, I'm going to go for copper. We've got a lot of copper in the build, and I think that'll look pretty good. Then we can do, let's see what that looks like. Not bad. Okay, I can live with that. Now, do we put the stove in the island, or do we actually put, sorry, I'm just throwing these cupboards away. We can use the sink. Let's just use that. Dang it. Okay, and then one of those. And then our cupboards should line up. Let's get this. That will fit in here twice. Yes. There we go. Now we've got a kitchen across there. Don't know if I like this color. Let me know what you think. I'm in two minds. I am not 100% sure. We can probably, we've got so much height in here. Oh, we're gonna have to. Okay, where does it line up with? Does it line up with that? Yes. So we need this one. Nope. Dang it. Yeah. He's got. That is Brooks. That's all we have. Okay, those three lines. Which means that one will line. Yeah. Maybe we should put the glass fronts. Whoops. On some of these cabinets, that might actually look quite good. Alright, say we want that. Be too dark. I'm trying to match the color that's on the counter. Makes sense. Okay, let's put that in there and see what it looks like. It breaks up the line of that. Maybe one of these. We used that's not bad. We can get rid of that one if we put the stove in here. That's not too bad. Quite like that. Just don't like what the light is doing to it right now. But we'll worry about the light at a later stage. Let's find us a fridge. I think a fairly simple fridge. Nothing too fancy. Oh boy, we are going to have to go with fairly light one. Should we go with the copper? Okay, that works. We have that little gap there, which is normal. We always have that little gap there. Will this fit double? Yes, it does. Ooh. Okay, I'm happy with that. Should we go with... We don't have anything. This is the only dang thing we have, and it's... Oh! Okay. I will stop complaining about these little cupboards. Okay, but I think I would like to bring in tiles on the back here. That's gonna be fun. So do we go with maybe the herringbone? Or Subway? I really like the stacked. Let's go with... Let's see what this looks like. That's not bad actually, because it sort of brings the base color that's this through. So it's not this deep green that we're looking at. I quite like that. Okay, I'm doing that. Now we need a stove top. This one. I think I'm going for a nice fancy induction stove. We want the wide one. We do have space here for it. And it can be right in the middle of that cupboard. We have enough space between the two. Coffee machine's going to have to move, but hey. Alright, now where are the extractors? Are they large appliances? Yes, they are. I wish we had more to choose from. But it is what it is. And then we can move it up. We move it right up. That is too far. I don't like the way it sticks out there. It just doesn't feel like it's right. Okay, that's as good as it's going to have to get. We don't... I also wish we had tinier cupboards. Maybe we need a baby shelf. How about a baby shelf? And then maybe we want another one on that side. It does line up. And it fits snug against the top there. We could probably put some recipe books or something like that in there. Okay. Oops. Let's see. We can go for probably the chunky one. And we've got the cake book right here. I'm gonna throw it in the middle because, and I don't know if anyone's noticed, but there's more books. There's books on mushrooms, and in fact we'll take the mushroom book. You never know when you want some mushrooms for supper. Then we've got beetles. There we go. We've got birds. And then we've got a whole bunch of Raymond Chase books. Let's move it out a little bit. Dang it. Grab the book, man. Okay, so a couple of recipe books. Have we got any more? We've got the cakes. I don't think so. That's gardening. No, all the rest are the regular ones. Okay. That'll do. We can maybe put something next to it there, and we could probably put a gadget of some description up here. We could maybe use, how big is that? Why are you falling? Okay, you don't sit on the wall, do you? No. Do you sit on the wall? Yes, you do. But you're just a little bit out. Dang it. Okay, fine. See, if we could fit it in there, that would be perfect. As I was saying. There we go. That's why you have open cupboards. The question would be, obviously, is can we actually get anything in there? Eeny, meeny, what am I going to use here? You know what would be really nice? To be able to have a marble chopping board. That would be awesome. Let's just change this. Yeah, I think that would blend in quite nicely. There's my knife. Gotta have a knife. There's my knife. We can dress the rest of it, but I think this light is going to go once we're... Let's take it over there and see what this looks like in the shade. It's not bad. Okay, let's get rid of these two cupboards. It's not bad. Not perfect, but not bad. Could we? Probably. So that dark green doesn't come through where the shelves are. Okay, my phone always goes off when I'm recording, which is very irritating. But it is what it is. Now, where are these and which one fits in here? So it would be that one presumably. Ah, you see, so that also fits up there. That's a pain. Let's do the copper lids. It's not like we have a choice of 3,000 things here, so we might as well just run through the availables. And last but not least, what should we put in there? Brown sugar, curry powder, take your pick. Looks quite nice. I'm wondering, what should we put in here? We have a coffee machine. We are going to need a salt and a shaker. Do we want a kettle on the stove? Maybe. I love playing with these glass bowls. Looking for a green one. And you don't fit in there, do you? Do you fit there? No? Do you fit there? Yes, you do. You will fit. I will make you fit. Little intense, though. Okay, and then we can put some pots or something here. Or some pretty plates, or stuff, or stuff. That's a big pot. Let's go with brass. Come on. Should I say bronze? It's the one with handles. Okay, so all three you fit there quite nicely. Okay, that works. I'll have to put some plates and stuff and other stuff in there. But I think I'm going to put this over here. Or should we put a small cupboard on the side here? No. We have a small one. We want to. Let's do drawers. What am I building? And then you will fit just perfectly over there. Okay, what color would we like you? I'm thinking cream. Just a plain, simple cream. There we go. To blend in. Okay, now the next question I have is, what should I do with lights? Should I actually have them under the counter? And yes, while I'm asking that question, I'm looking for mugs, because you know me and coffee mugs. I'm a big fan of coffee mugs. And for some reason these appeal to me. Let's see what they look like. Those are cute. Okay, let's do the snap-on. That's awful. Why does everything look so small? No idea. It doesn't make sense in my head that those mugs are so tiny. But hey, I'm just a little... I was going to start singing, don't worry. You don't want to hear me sing. You don't want to hear me sing. Should we go dark? No. Wow, look how dark that went. That went so dark it grew brown. That's quite scary. We'll just do the coffee next to the coffee machine. Oh, what am I doing? Hello. And we need some tea. We haven't got a tea kettle, so we'll just do the honey. There we go. That's quite cute. Okay. And then for the corner, it's a dark corner. A very dark corner. Maybe we need something in this dark corner here. We need this. I'm just going to throw it on the counter. It can go into one of the cupboards. And probably these. And yes, they will fit. I'll throw them into these cupboards here. But we need something for the corner and we have nothing. Wow, I shouldn't say that. Because if all else fails in life, if all else fails, put a pot plant and pretend there's a grow light there. Find a spot. Now the question would be, it might be a little big. Maybe we just put some bunch of flowers here. Don't really work under the cupboard there, so we'll give that a miss. It's gonna have to be a fern or something. There we go. All else fails, place a fern and then just move it down a little bit so it's not sticking through the cupboard. Now, as I was saying, do we put under counter lighting, above counter lighting? Maybe let's see what that looks like. Whoa, in your face. That would work over here. Might need to flip it because that is so intense. Less intense. It's still pretty bright. Can I? Let's say 50. Oh yes, that's more than bright enough. The problem I have is, do I put here? Well, because you know, you also need to see what the heck you're doing when you are cooking. No, one more. I don't know so much. Doesn't really light it up much, does it? Ah, maybe that's why. Lights it up a bit less like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna say let's go for it. Are we? Okay, so that's flat. That's where we want to be. Okay, let's do the thing. I know I started here, but hey. Maybe we need to drop it down. What do you say? Oops. Wrong click. Come on. I can change you. I will change you. Doesn't really change. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that because at least you can see what the heck you're doing in the kitchen. And then we'll put some counter lights over this one. Now the question I have is, how much space have I got here? Quite a fair bit. we can do a works. Do we want waterfall? Maybe. What should we use as lights in here? Suppose maybe something like this. We can do it in wood. Maybe in the walnut. That's quite pretty. Probably a little bit too low though. They're very chunky. These ones. If we do this in copper, let's see what that looks like. Much smaller. Actually prefer that. Okay, look at that. And we can probably mute them a little bit. Let's change the brightness again down to about 50 and see what that looks like. Do I want another switch? I suppose I do. I'm just walking over everything, aren't I? I use that one. Pop it on the wall here. Let's see how bright that is. Little bit better. Still quite intense. Quite pretty. Should we maybe remove these? Ooh, come on. Do we want? Yes. They're a little much. I can always leave that across there, but this should give enough light in the kitchen. I think so. It's quite pretty. We don't have, we do have, we can't make that longer, can we? But it does tie in with that one. Okay, let's copy that onto that. Now, I'm just going to remove that one out of the way. What do you think? Which do you prefer? That one or that one? That one's quite cute. And it's more organic. Ooh, and bright. Okay, hold on. Let's just get rid of this one. Can't even see it to grab it. That's quite cute. I like that. Want that knot. I think that's something different, and I like it. Now we just have to figure out what chairs we want. Not so much. Alright, let's see what we can do with this. Let's do the stained pine to start and see what they look like. Well, you know, it's not bad. I'm not looking at the wood so much as the shape of the chairs. We can always make a plan with the wood. Sort of like that. Matches actually quite nicely. Alright, let's take this one, make it just a smidgen lighter. There we go. That works for me. I'm so tempted just to put a little block there. And of course then we need stuff. We need a bowl with fruit or something in it. And at least a pineapple. I'll build a bowl. We need some pineapples and we need some oranges. Oranges are tiny. We need some bananas. At least the bananas are a little bit bigger. So I'm thinking of a sort of fruit bowl there. We can get one of these bowls. And perhaps a couple of hanging things here. And this house is a little bit more relaxed than the one across the road there. So let's get a hook and put a tea towel on it. Where is my tea towel? There we go. About something floral. That's quite pretty. I like that. We are going to have 2 bedrooms here, so this is not going to be an office, this is going to be a bedroom. But I think that is really pretty. And I am going to go with that. Now, the question would be then, get rid of that. What are we going to do wood-wise here? Do we carry on with the wood or do we bring in perhaps a lighter wood? too many different woods. We go with that and take it down here like we did with the seats there, and introduce that wood there as well. I think that works. And perhaps we need to change this as well then. Now, alright, stained pine, and that was the oranges. So it's a little bit lighter. I like that. Let me know what you think. And then this light can go. And we can put some goodies on the bookcase there. We need to find something fun to put. Actually, this can probably stand there. I mean, it fits. Need some more greenery here, or we will put some more greenery here. We're probably going to need a plant or something here. Something narrow, tall and narrow. What do we have? How narrow is that? That's not bad. We've used the ficus already. That too green. Might be. We can always use another one of these. I really don't like these. They always look sort of semi on their way out. Just sad but true. How tall are you? You're not tall at all. You're also very green. Again, the same story. Do we just go? No, I don't want a big sunflower in here. I'm tempted to go bulrushes again, but that might work. That's the slightly less green. That'll work. Okay, I'm going to take that as a good start on the dining room. Now the only thing we really need to think about is chairs for the dining room. Now do we move away from all the wood? Because we have got quite a good chunk of wood in there. Maybe introduce the darker... Let's go with the stained pine again. That nowhere near the color of anything. Too green. Sweet, everything here has its own little see if I use the poplin, I can go down one and it pretty much matches the walls. Question is, do we want that? Probably. Because then that brings that colour across the room. Yeah. And that works for me. Now we just have to think of what we're going to put on this wall, and I think I need to find a nice big picture to go there. We've got the birch trees there. We've got these pictures here, and I don't have anything in a portrait that is going to look good here. So that is my job for later today. Let's take that out because we don't need it anymore. And if you remember, I actually hitting all the buttons. I chose that bronze, but I'm quite liking this. You know, I'm never a I love the light, but I'm liking it in this context. Are we over the table yet? Dang it. Dang it. Come on. Thank you. There's a lot of light over here, so I think we do need to turn it down though. And then it's not so intense. I'm wanting to throw stuff at the walls. So maybe I should stop myself. But you know, we've got these birds here. And if we use the copper, I think they'll look pretty cute. Okay. I am going to look for a really pretty picture there. I'm going to pack the shelves here and put some plates and odds and ends in the cupboards here. I'll bring you back and we can start on the bathroom and the bedroom. So keep your fingers firmly crossed that I actually save this build now, because I'm not doing it a third time. This room, round 2. I'm not moving on to round 3. Guys, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got this far, please subscribe. I hope you have a lovely day. And I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.